Are we on? Thank you. All right. I need a motion to come out of executive session, please.
So moved, Madam Chairman.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second. I'm assuming we're not discussing anything, so all in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
I have certification of closed session. Pursuant to subsection 2.2-3712D of the Code of Virginia 1950 as amended, each member of the Board of Supervisors upon roll call certifies that to the best of their knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from the open meeting requirements under the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and only public business matters that were identified in the motions by which the closed meeting was convened were heard, discussed, or considered in the meeting by the Board of Supervisors. Any member of the Board of Supervisors who believed that there was a departure from the requirements shall state so prior to the vote, indicating the substance of that departure in his or her judgment has taken place. Are there any supervisors who believe a departure has taken place? Being none, if you agree that the matters heard, discussed, or considered during the closed meeting were pursuant only to the motions by which the closed meeting was convened, please signify by saying yea or yes. Tim Lovelace.
Yes.
Carl Ray.
Yes.
David Eaton.
Yes.
Steve Brady.
Yes.
Rebecca Dye.
Yes.
Horace Christian.
Yes.
Lou Ann Wallace.
Yes.
Ma'am, you have approval to turn to regular session.
Thank you, Mr. Lester. At this time, I'll ask for our invocation. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Father God, Lord, we love you, we thank you, and we praise you today, Father. Father, forgive us for where we fail you each and every day, and thank you for allowing us to be a part of our local government, Father. Forgive us, be with us, lead us, guide us, and direct us in everything that we do. In your name I pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, we're moving forward in our agenda, so I will ask for an approval of the agenda at this time. Do we have any additions or subtractions to this today?
Madam Chair, if there are no additions, I'll make a motion. We approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second it.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. So we don't have any additions. Okay. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Next, we're moving on to the presentation at this time. Mr. Ernie McFadden, Russell County IDA, we're ready.
Thank you, Madam Chair, ladies and gentlemen of the board. Appreciate you giving me some time this evening just to give you an update of what we have going on with the IDA. Just to give you a quick snapshot of where we are right now. We currently have 3 properties under contract. We have 5 active prospects that we've worked with for several months, several of them. We currently have 3 companies under contract, that's existing companies. We have 3 construction projects ongoing right now, 4 properties that are under development. We have 4 small business loans that we're managing. Currently have 5 career path development partners that we're working with our businesses. And we have 14 leased properties that we're currently managing. On some of the new business that's coming in, probably the most exciting one we have right now is the property in St. Paul. This property is currently under contract with a large international company. They have projecting 170 jobs with a little over $11 million investment. It's a pretty exciting contract, and we expect this will be finalized by the middle of next month. So it's very close. It's been a long time coming. That one's been out of service for about 15 years. Another property, which is the old Acme building, is also under contract. We have an existing company that's expanding into that property. They will be adding about 30 jobs there, and they will probably move in the next 2 weeks. So it's about finished. It's ready for them to move in. So that's 2 properties that we've filled up. This next one is Russell Place, which we've been working on for several years now. And in conjunction with VEDP, we have a project. It's named Little Dipper. They have 157 jobs projected, average salary of $67,000, $22 million investment. It's a expansion of a local company that's in Eastern Tennessee. That one's a few months out, but it looks very promising at the moment. So we're hopeful if that happens, then that will actually take and fill the last empty building that we actually own. There's a couple sites that are within the county that are privately owned. The one on the left is Norfolk Grumman. The one on the right is the Bostic Ford building, which we don't own either one of those. Are both privately owned. Norfolk Grumman is actually being marketed by a company in Richmond. JLL is marketing that property. And VDP is also trying to help market it, but so far we've not had any good bites on that property yet. The one on the right, the old Bostic Ford building, is actually privately owned, and that company is using it for whatever their purpose is, but it's not for sale, as we've been told. A couple of other sites that we're actually working on right now. We're in conversation with Alcoa and AT&T about the purchase of these properties. If the other prospects we're working on now, if all those complete, as it looks like they're going to, then we'll be out of inventory. So we need more buildings to offer. And it's much more cost effective for us to purchase existing buildings and put them back into use than to build new ones. So we have active companies that are interested in both of these properties. So we're very hopeful that we'll be able to get possession of these properties in the near future. That's very short and sweet, but I want to thank the board for your support and all that we do, because we could not do it without you. It's a joint effort on everybody's part, and we're very grateful for your support.
Sounds like good news.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate you and Mr. Chairman Lockridge coming. Thank you for coming tonight and giving you a report. We appreciate that very much. Great news. Moving along to new business. I do need an approval of the minutes that's in your packet. So I'll accept a motion on that.
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
I have a motion to approve minutes. I'll take a second. Thank you, Mr. Christian. Any discussion on those? I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Next, we're moving on to the approval of expenditures. I need a motion and a second, please.
So moved, Madam Chair.
I got a motion. I need
I'll
a
second
second.
it.
I got a second from Mr. Eaton. Any discussion at all? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you very much. Next, moving on to the Community Policy Management Team. That is Patrick Brunty and Joni Lester. And I think that those folks are required to be there.
Yes, they are required. Patrick serves with DSS and Joni is with the Family Preservation, and it is required by our state statute that those folks serve on those committees. Not
Okay.
particularly, but their positions.
Oh, their positions. I
Yeah.
see. Okay. Very good.
So I'll make a
I
motion
need it.
that we approve.
Thank you, Ms. Dye. I'll need a second.
I'll second it.
Thank you. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Next, we're coming to citizens' comment period, and we will limit to 3 minutes. Do I have a sign-up sheet? First, I have on the list for public comment Ms. Sandy Hess from Swords Creek. Ms. Hess?
Hess from Swords Creek. I'm coming before the board for a couple of reasons. First is a request, but actually it's more of a reminder. In September of 2022, this board voted on and approved a pro-life resolution that was beautifully drafted by Mr. Steve Reading. Part of the original resolution was that was approved was Section 3, which actually stated Based upon the desire to be recognized as a pro-life county, the Russell County Board of Supervisors shall arrange for a placement of a suitable commemorative plaque on the grounds of the Russell County Government Center, declaring Russell County to be a pro-life county. Well, here we are a year later, and we still haven't got a plaque. So we would like to see that, because as Steve mentioned in that meeting, we do have a tendency to pass ordinances and resolutions, and then they just sort of fall by the wayside and people don't even remember them. So this is just a reminder that we would like to see that happen. Another issue that I'd like to address with the board is concerning the parliamentary procedure that the board meetings are conducted under. I understand that the meetings are ran under the guidance of the Roberts Rules of Order, and that under the current bylaws, there's no question or answer period for the citizens to get any answers to their questions. For the past year and a half that I've been coming to these meetings, I've watched countless citizens approach the board with questions and concerns during public comments, and of course they never get an answer to any of those. I've heard many residents state that they've tried to contact board members personally and never get a response. Many of the questions and concerns that are addressed are of interest to many of the citizens, not just the ones that ask the questions. So I think it would be a great service to all the citizens if there was a question and answer time to publicly address the concerns of the citizens. I understand that most of the time legal counsel has to be addressed before an answer can be given. But why not set a time aside that citizens can ask questions? Then if they have to contact the attorney, then maybe at the next meeting, those questions be answered publicly. Honestly, that's the biggest complaint that I've heard about the board, is that nobody can get an answer to any questions. So if an issue is brought up, we, the public, never hear a resolution. If there is one that the board comes to with somebody privately, we don't ever know about it. So we hear all these issues addressed with no resolution. So it would go a long way to instill trust with the citizens in our public officials if we saw resolutions to the issues. So I'm requesting that this board consider amending the bylaws according to Article 9A with a majority vote and provide the citizens a question and answer segment at these meetings. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hess. Next on our list is Ms. Judy Hamilton Sullivan.
Hello, everyone. I'm Judy Hamilton. Most of you know me. I am requesting, and I know this has been talked about before, a new dog pound, or at least some upgrades to this dog pound we have. It's in sad shape. It really is. And if any of you have not gone and looked at it, took a tour of it, you really need to. You really need to go out there and look. The building is crumbling. It just needs so much work. And I know there's been so much talk about a new pound, which has just never appeared. My next issue is we need another animal control officer. Wade and Chris do their best. But you really need one over here in the Honaker Lebanon area. You need one in the Dank Castlewood, one in the Moccasin Lebanon area. Moccasin Castlewood. It's too much for these two guys to handle by themselves. You need to split this county up, give another animal control officer out there. You just don't know the situations I've seen animals in. You don't know how much I've picked them up. I went to the trash cans this morning, picked up a mama and 6 cats. Myself have 9 dogs, 43 cats at the moment I'm fostering, which I'll never find homes for, and 5 pigs. People are setting animals out left and right because the pound is too small to accommodate but so many animals, and now you're seeing them on the side of the road, at trash cans, anywhere. There's a new dumping site in Honaker. This is ridiculous. These guys need help. You need an extra control officer. You need to do something about this pound. Go look at it. Go take a peek at it. See what you guys think. Really, you really just don't know some of these situations I've seen and that other people in rescue have seen. Help hand out some dog food. Give some money in a fund to help spay and neuter. Anything. Do something. But most of all, these two men need help. You need another officer. There's a lot of things that I know the county needs, but there's also a lot of things that you could take that money, put towards a new officer and a vehicle, so there's one on each end of the county and one in the center of the county. Now, honestly, if you guys have not gone around and looked, you really need to. I had a woman call me last week wanting to know if I could take 50 plus cats. Yeah, that was what I said. What am I going to do with 50 plus cats? That would shoot me over 100. You don't know how bad it is. The new shelter needs to house cats. We need that new shelter. You guys have talked about it. True? Have any of you guys gone out and looked at this old shelter? If nothing else, take one of these empty buildings in town. Convert it to a temporary shelter. Do something. Do anything. Because right now you're not helping these animals. And a lot of these people out here in the county who have a pet companion, it is the only company they have. Help them with a bag of dog food. I get donations every month from people. I'm running between St. Paul, Castlewood, Dayton, Coburn, handing out dog and cat food and cat litter to keep people going until the first of the month till they get their checks, because that cat or dog is the only thing they have. And someday it's going to be the only thing you have. Help them, help these animals, provide some help. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy. Next on the list is Randy Burke.
First of all, I would like to thank you all for your support for Mark Marrow. What you did, it's awesome. Everything's going up to plan now. Second thing is quick and easy. I think we need to be proactive instead of reactive. They're getting ready to pass laws in the real near future that legalize marijuana. Do we want a bunch of dispensaries in our county? Do we want a dispensary in our county? We got to get these stopped before they get started. You see, with the Suboxone clinics, ain't nothing you can do once they get here. Their foot's in the door, but we can stop them ahead of time. So I'm just asking you to come up with something to stop the dispensaries before they legalize marijuana and they get it in here. I mean, we don't need it. It's, you know, people say, well, it ain't a gateway drug. Anything messes with your mind is a gateway drug. Anything. I made a lot of bad choices when I was doing things. So I know it does. So but we need to get a stop to it. How we ended up with the other place, and you know, that's the town, the Let's Grow place. But everybody seemed shocked because they found pot there. Look at what they talk about. I mean, it's what they. So you know it's going to be there. It's like the places over in Abington and stuff. But we was out of town this weekend. I seen dispensaries all over the place. We got to stop them now. We can't wait till we get one or two or whatever. Stop them countywide. Stop them at the county lines. Say, we don't want your business. You know, that ain't no jobs. That's not jobs for our county. We don't want that. And if you do, I mean, I don't think any of you do. I just don't see anybody up there that sits around and, you know. But please, I'm begging, stop it now before it gets started. And I agree with Sandy 100%. We need that question. We need to be able to answer questions. Y'all said, you know, you can't answer anything we talk about up here. You can't comment on what we talk about, which, and sometimes it does happen. Depends on who it is. Sometimes y'all will go back at it. It depends. Sometimes you'll say, shut up. But beyond that, we need to be able to talk back, have a question and answer session. I mean, and this ain't town council, I know, but his wife does an outstanding job in homemaker. They get ready to talk about something real serious or vote on something, she will turn around and say, has anybody got anything? and she gives everybody sitting there a chance to say something. You know, we wouldn't be half as mad if we could say something ahead of time that maybe sway one of you over, but it just royally upsets us when we don't get to say nothing and then you just smack us, because that's what it feels like. We get smacked in the face. So give us a question and answer time. I don't like being mean and upset. I know I am a lot, but I don't like me being that way. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Burke. Is there anybody else that would like to make a public comment that did not sign up? I'm at the end of the sheet. If you do, you have an opportunity tonight. Nope. All right, I'll close public comment, period. Moving on the agenda, the constitutional officer reports and requests. See none here. Mr. Lester, do you have anybody? Okay. County attorney reports and requests.
I don't have anything, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Patton. Moving on to the county administrator reports and requests. Mr. Lester?
Thank you, Madam Chair. First on the county administrator's reports is the Virginia Department of Environmental Quality. This is a evaluation based off our landfill. Just a second. This is a no deficiency notification, which essentially says that both our landfill is in compliance with DEQ regulations with the Virginia Department of Environmental Quality, which is a good passing grade. This is an annual inspection. Next on the county administrator reports is, of course, the Virginia School Energy Performance Equipment Tax Credit that this board implemented along with the school board on energy performance conservation, where we changed out their HVAC, their windows, energy efficient water. It was a loan that was done that is 75% subsidized by the U.S. Department of Taxation. So from the Treasury Department, and this year's refund back to the county was $132,988.44. So that will come back to the school as an offset to the payments on this energy performance contract, which actually don't have, but I was looking, has a very few years of life left on it now. We're getting near maturity here, which is a good thing. Mention animal shelters. One of the things that we did do, and you'll see on TV, there's a lot of animal shelters that's being promoted in Tennessee, and every animal shelter is having issues right now. And a lot of the things like we are seeing is during the COVID period, a lot of people adopted because they were at home, and now they're bringing them back, or they're just letting them loose, or we're running them down and we're bringing them in. So one of the things that they did do was extend the weekends, because we wanted to open up more hours because people work through the week. We just wanted to give them an opportunity to be able to do this on the weekends and bring their kids in. And this weekend we adopted out 7 of the 22 that we did. That was pretty quick, and this was just in a few hours. So we're going to continue this till we transfer out to adoptions, or we're going to adopt in-house. And if you haven't looked, go on our Facebook. They're gorgeous dogs. I mean, you can tell they're well taken care of. Adopt a few if you want. But we will continue the adoption campaign until we get all their numbers. Right now, we're not exceeding ours. We just went through a statewide inspection with us. Our shelter, it is old, just as it is, and we are looking at a new animal shelter, but it still meets state requirements. I mean, we do. You can tell by looking at our dogs, it doesn't reflect the age of the facility. So that being said, next thing on the county administrator reports is the VDOT monthly road report system. That is, the paving schedule, the overlay schedules. The board of supervisors has an opportunity to look at that. That brings us back in through the this year's paving schedules. There was one line item down there that we'll have to deal with on. that is the Coal Road Committee on 100,000. Tim and I will have to go back and we'll pull up that resolution, have that for board approval next time. It's already being built into the plan. The numbers have already been approved. It's just more procedural thing. So next on the county administrator request is the national opiate settlement. We also received another payment for Russell County in the amount of $45,470.42. I need a motion to bring that money into the opiate fund.
So moved.
I'll second.
You got a bunch.
Thank you. Looks like we're all for it. So all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Next is another, it's a VDOT resolution. This is a rural rustic designation for various routes. Y'all got the long list of routes that had not been designated as rural rustic over the years. VDOT is cleaning house, as per se, with the records, and they're doing this under one blanket, as you can see in y'all's explanation from VDOT, to bring all these into the rural rustic so we can make sure that we get funding for these and being able to do it. So I need a blanket on the VDOT resolution for rural rustic road designation for various routes. I need a motion and approval.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adopt the rural rustic road designation. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Next is another VDOT resolution. When they do work, we do work, don't we? It seems like. Highway system changes. This is on project 652. This is Puckett Hole Bridge. This is a resolution also that on this bridge, I'm bringing up the bridge on Puckett Hole. This is a project adjustment on this bridge. This is to take out the old section versus, to get rid of the old section of the bridge, get it off their assets. It's house cleaning. As you can see, this is the old portion that went through. Here is the new portion of the bridge. So they got to get that off their inventory. So I need approval for the VDOT resolution for highway system changes on project 652, Puckett Hole Bridge.
I'll make that motion for you.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to accept the VDOT resolution for the highway system changes. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Next on the county administrator request is I'm asking for approval to advertise for the county building and grounds maintenance position. I had one position that Dave, he had to leave due to health reasons, so I'm looking for a position in his position. So,
I'll make that motion.
I need a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to do a RFP or RFQ, whatever, for county building and grounds maintenance position.
Just an advertisement.
Just an advertisement? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Have a motion and a second. I'll call for the vote. Any further discussions, by the way? By the way, we're sad about Dave.
Yeah. He was a master electrician.
Yes. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Mention of parliamentary issues. The September the 4th board meeting
Labor
is
Day.
on Labor Day. So parliamentary, you're going to have to choose another date at the discretion of the Board of Supervisors.
Could we do it the following day, maybe Tuesday?
That's up to discretion of y'all.
I hate to put another week away because it sort of messes you up. You have one long period
And,
between meetings, one short period.
and I was also reminded that's the week of the fair from the from the county attorney. So I think all y'all be busy that week.
I'm fine.
August the 8th? Is that what you're suggesting? Oh, no, shoot. I'm bad again, aren't I? Okay.
I'll make a motion. We move our board meeting, scheduled board meeting of September 4th to the following day, which is Tuesday, September the 5th.
I'll second it.
Very good. We have a motion and a second to move the Board of Supervisors September meeting one day ahead. All in favor? Looks like we're going to do it. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. It is September 5th.
It is September 5th. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Steve. Next on the county minister request, this is a community event. I have the Vet Fest. Dora, she's there. Thank you. Positively Gymnastics and the Dana Community Association at the will of the Board of Supervisors for donations for these community events. So I'll ask for a motion and amounts from each one.
I'd like to make a motion that we donate $500 to Vet Fest and $300 to Positively Gymnastics.
This is for the Dane reunion. How much have you been given the other little communities for their festivals or reunions or whatever? This is a nonprofit also.
It's in the 300 range.
All right.
Okay, I'll add that into the motion.
I don't know. Ask Carl.
Ask
Carl
Carl.
has a
Can we
question.
do anything for this weekend, the Cleveland community back to school bash or anything?
The community backs, that's up to the discretion of the Board of Supervisors. You'll have to
Do we
change
have
the
a
agenda,
nonprofit?
though. You have to modify it here.
We've worked it out down here. Sorry about that. Thank you, Carl.
Y'all worked it out.
All right. So I have a motion for Positively Gymnastics, right?
Correct.
And-
$300 Vet Fest, $500, and
$300 to the DCA.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
300 deposit.
I'll second that.
We have a second. Thank you very much. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Lester.
Madam Chair, that concludes county administrator reports and requests.
Okay, at this time, I am moving on. Let me change my agenda back to the beginning. Hang on. Boards, discussions, and reminders. So, Mr. Lovelace, you got anything?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Ray?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Eaton?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Breeding?
Nothing other than to assure Judy that we are working on. Is she left? Yeah. Well, we are, and we're waiting on AEP right now to move a pole.
We have already put the work order in, cut the trees. AEP is waiting to set the poles.
So as soon as we get that done, then we're going to try to move as fast as we can into this. That'll be all.
Thank you, Mr. Breeding. We have worked on that. Yes, thank you for saying so. Ms. Dye?
No, just want to say thanks to PSA. They have resubmitted the application for water for the House and Barn Mountain project. So they're just waiting on see what they hear from the state. And I appreciate all their work.
Thank you. Mr. Christian, you got anything?
No, at this time.
All right, thank you very much. And your chairman tonight, oh, yes. Thank you. Russell County Fair, that's what we were just talking about. So thank you, Mr. Eaton. September 1 through the 10th. Attend and support. It's been an award-winning fair for many, many years. So thank you very much. At this time, I'll adjourn the September meeting of the Board of Supervisors. Thank you for coming.
If you like beach music, the town of Lebanon's having a beach bash the next Saturday, the 12th, I think it is, out at the community center. What they do is they have a band come in and plays beach music and such. So it's always pretty good.